Is there anything truly better than lazing on a Sunday afternoon? Well, the song's pretty good too. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Crown Jewels, a journey through Queen. I am your host, PLD, on the PLD Projects Network. And this is the podcast where I take you through track by track every song in the Queen catalog. And when we get there, every song in the solo catalog as well. We give some history, some notes, some quotes. We talk about which is the best version or crown jewel version of the track. And of course, we rate the track and put it into our ultimate playlist. We are on A Night at the Opera, one of the greatest albums in the history of rock and roll, one of the most famous Queen albums in the history of Queen. This is track 2, Lazing on a Sunday Afternoon. Let's get right into Lazy on a Sunday Afternoon. We have two versions we're going to be listening to. We have a studio version from A Night at the Opera. We also have an unreleased live version from 1976 in Boston. And if you look at the descriptions below, you'll find YouTube links so that you can pause the podcast at the appropriate time, go listen to the version, and then come back and hear me talk about it. There is a third version I just want to touch base on really quickly, get this one out of the way. 1991, Hollywood Records issued a promo cassette, and on it was a slightly different remastered version of the song. But really, the only difference is it omits about one line about 44 seconds in. One line of "There he goes again," and that's it. So it's not really worth really diving into, listening to it again. It's the same track. But I wanted to mention it in case, just for completeness sake. All right, Lazy on a Sunday Afternoon, written by Freddie Mercury, features Freddie on lead and backing vocals as well as piano, Brian Mann guitar, John Deacon on bass guitar, Roger Taylor on drums. It's only about a minute long, so how much can they really do? Well, where's Queen, so they give it a try. This was played live during the 1975 and 1976 tours. Then it was dropped completely, never to be heard from again. Not surprising, it's kind of an interlude kind of track. It's a very vaudeville track, as you're going to hear. It does feature a very interesting vocal effect that Freddie uses. Basically, what they did is they put a pair of headphones in a metal can, like it's like a trash can, I believe. Freddie sang in a different room through a microphone. His voice went into the headphones, which was then surrounded by the metal, and the recorder captured the results. It's a very kind of weird, tinny sounding, of course, tinny sounding vocal from far away, almost like a carnival barker kind of thing. It's Freddie used to love the band used to love doing experimentation like that in the studio. Well before computers could do anything, everything. This was kind of real in the studio. Inventiveness. I love that kind of thing myself. Before we listen to it, I'll give you a quote from Freddie, 1976, the Record Mirror. Says, "That's the way the mood takes me. You know, that's just one aspect of me, and I can really change. Everything on a Sunday afternoon is something that I'm really I love doing the vaudeville side of things. It's kind of sort of a test. I love writing songs like that. I'm sure I'm going to do more. It's quite a challenge. Definitely. Without further ado, why don't we just get right into it then? Pause me, go find the official studio version in the description below, click on it, listen to it, and let's come back and talk about it. I go up to work on Monday morning. Alrighty, a great piano intro. Just get you right into the mood. Really bouncy piano. I forgot to mention when Freddie does the effect in his voice, he also does an effect of just basically using this really proper, like rich upper class accent. I go off to work on Sunday morning. It's really kind of funny use of his voice, funny use of the effect, funny bouncy song. You can't help but smile. You can't help but like bob along to it. It's a silly thing. If it went on for like a couple of minutes, yeah, it might be a little annoying. It might be something I wouldn't want to listen to. But for a minute and 7 seconds, it's pretty fun. The harmonies really do make the track when Freddie comes in harmonizing with himself. That choir, that wash of sound that they bring forth in many of their tracks. So specific things I did like to note also. Roger has this great use of the cymbals on it a little bit, a little crash here and there, a little like a kind of rhythmic thing. It's pretty cool there as well. And of course, finally, Brian's guitar solo really kind of takes it into this different direction. A really big swell of harmonic guitars that are basically it's just like a counterpoint to Freddie's vocals. And it ends off really abruptly. The great thing about it, if you listen to the album all the way through, kind of comes right from Death on Two Legs into this nice little bouncy number. Right from the bouncy number, it goes into this real rock and roller, which you know from the movie of Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm in love with my car. That is next week. All right, let's listen to the live version from 1976, see what kind of differences there are, and maybe which one's a better version to listen to. Click on that link and come back for more. And there you have it, live from Boston in 1976. I got Roger Doodle clicking it off in the beginning. Freddie does hit a bum note at the end of the intro. It kind of has happened a few times in the tour. Sometimes he gets it spot on, sometimes a little quick form, and he kind of just clicks off a little one or two, but I like that's a live performance. It's dangerous, it's a backing track, kind of get those moments in there. There's no vocal wash, of course, so there's no the ooze because it's only Freddie. Roger and Brian does get to come in for the little support towards the end of that section, though. Friday's Ego painting in the loo, and kind of nice little three-part harmony there. I love how Freddie then plays with the crowd, that pregnant pause that he gives. Of course, sometimes, like in this particular concert, he's like, what? Wait for it, kind of like teasing before he goes in to let Brian finish it off pretty strongly. It's a cool version of the song. All right, folks, there you have it. Let's go on and let's decide which is the crown jewel. Which version am I going to listen to more often? Which one am I going to put into my ultimate playlist? Not a whole lot to talk about here. There's only two versions, so I'm going to be quick and easy with it. It's the album version. The album version definitely has much more background to it, has much more texture to it. It's kind of fun to have the live version. I do like, I said, that pregnant pause, Freddie playing with the audience. But for a minute 7 or whatever it is, I'm just going to give me the studio version with the full backing choir, Freddie vocals, the cool Brian orchestrated guitar solo. Gets to do a little more in the studio than he can do live. The energy is great live, but at the end of the day, I can listen to either. But for the ultimate playlist, I'm going to choose a version to listen to. It's going to be the album version. All right, so how do I rate this track? We always rate these songs on a scale of 1 to 11 because we always turn it up to 11 here on PLD Projects. I'm going to give this one a solid 6. That sounds lower than a lot of my scores have been for Queen. It's only because it's short. It's an interlude. It's not something I'm going to choose to listen to all the time. I'm going to put many of the tracks on before I put this one on. I'm also not going to skip it when it comes on. Well, apparently, I probably wouldn't be, by the time I got to skip it, it'd probably be halfway over. So, but for a minute 7, for an interlude, it does what it does. It's fun. It's silly. It's Freddie being Freddie. I can't knock it. Again, not going to like choose it my top 10 though. So there you have it there. There you have it, folks. That's the episode this week. Thank you so much for listening all the way to the end. If you do like what you hear, please, like I said, click that like, click that subscribe. Let me know. And if you want to support the channel even more, patreon.com/PLD Projects. I have a great group of people who are supporting me. Couldn't really do it without them. I want to shout out a few of them: Austin Cadell, Jeremiah Morris, Maddie Kern, Brian Buckingham, Jeff Alterman, John Lestrina. I really definitely couldn't do it without you or any of the other crew. I have a great Facebook chat going. I've tweaked my Patreon. I have some more bonus stuff I'm going to be giving out, some more bonus content, some reviews, some live streams, some hangouts, things of that nature starting now. So now is the time to jump on board. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. And we'll be back, of course, next week with the Roger Taylor written and sung I'm in Love with My Car. A lot of different versions, a lot of different fun live versions. This is going to be a fun track to tackle on. I hope you're here with me. Until next time, everybody, stay rocking. Keep yourself alive. God save us.